As a leader, sometimes you tell people what to do or how to do it. Maybe that's how your boss does it with you or previous bosses you've had. It seems to work fine with you, you listen and you act accordingly. But how often do you find your people not doing what you said, or doing something in a way contrary to how you told them to do it? How does that make you feel? Frustrated, disappointed, angry, confused? How about a technique for encouraging your people to do the right things in the right way without you having to check in so much? Hi, I'm Terry Williams, the BrainBased boss, adding serious value through employee engagement. In writing that book and researching it, I came across a study that powerfully demonstrates the relative effectiveness of telling people versus using questions to help people discover for themselves what you could have told them in the first place. This study invited a lot of smokers to a seminar. There were two types of seminar, and half the smokers went to one type or the other type. In the first type, an expert told people why they should give up smoking. In the second type, a facilitator said something like, "Hey, if your friend wanted to give up smoking, what might be some of their reasons?" Notice the language, if your friend. If your friend depersonalises it and lessens any potential for defensiveness. What might be some of their reasons? Those words. What might be some of their reasons? This allows people to answer with less fear of being wrong. The word some means that there isn't one definite right answer. While it takes a little longer, this second group came up with lists, oddly enough, very similar, if not exactly the same, to what the expert could have told them. In both types of seminar, about 20 minutes in, secret squirrel out the back, an assistant pulls the fire alarm. So, everyone has to leave the building for an unspecified amount of time. Of course, they're all smokers. So the researchers videotape them and time how long it takes everyone to light up. Which seminar attendees do you think held off smoking the longest? Those who'd been asked what the reasons for not smoking might be. They took almost 3 times longer to light up, and that's with the behaviour that's a chemical addiction. Similar studies with behaviours based on personal choices have found even greater differential. But let's take that 3 times as a conservative figure. Now, I'm not saying never tell people anything. There's obviously always things that people need and would appreciate being told, like health and safety, or where there are very specific legal reasons to doing something in a very prescribed way. Telling people is efficient, but it's not always as effective. Often it's what I call tick box communication. You tick a box in your head that communication has occurred because you told them. But that's not how life works. You need evidence, as a leader, you need evidence of understanding and commitment. Helping people discover things for themselves is most effective if your objective is to get them to choose to adopt the behaviour in the long term in your absence. Choice, long term, absence. So if you use questions to help people to discover things for themselves, they're 3 times more likely to listen, 3 times more likely to trust the information, 3 times more likely to give it a go, 3 times more likely to keep trying when it gets tough, and 3 times more likely to advocate the ideas to others. Plus, an added benefit is that they may discover or reveal a better way of doing things, or your conversation makes it clear that the thing doesn't need doing at all. I had one situation once where a software upgrade resulted in some errors, one of which was we had to regenerate all our reports from scratch, and I was the leader and I told someone to do it. When I checked back in, they hadn't done it, but they made a great point. Her theory was to assess how much people really wanted those reports at all. Were we just creating reports because that's the way we'd always done things? Some of the reports predated me. In the first week without the 148 reports, she received only 5 complaints about their absence, and she regenerated those 5 reports for those 5 complainers. In the next 3 weeks, she only got 1 more complaint, so she regenerated that report, and she never heard back from anyone else about any of the other 142. If a month earlier, instead of just telling her what to do, I had used questions to assess and address the what, the how, and the why of those reports, I would have been a much more effective leader. The book The Brain-Based Boss contains hundreds of models, ideas and techniques just like this one. Short and sweet, pick and mix. Add to your leadership toolbox. Go to brainbasedboss.com to access the blog, podcast and content.